This is Let's Talk Business with your host, Marc Ebinger. Now, here's Mark.
Welcome back to the Let's Talk Business podcast. Coming up on the show today, we're going to talk about the business of filmmaking and talent management. There's money to be made everywhere. I'm always curious how much they make when, off the Amazon Prime stuff or Netflix or whatever else. Even YouTube's a place to make money, though.
So many platforms that you can monetize off now.
Yeah, exactly.
Little streams of income. You know what I mean? Put them videos to work. In studio with us today is JJ Fernandez, an award-winning actor and CEO of TJF Talent Management, a prominent agency dedicated to advancing the careers of musicians, actors, and filmmakers. With over 40 films and TV series to his credit on platforms like HBO, Amazon Prime, and Showtime, JJ is known for his versatility as an actor and his skills as a producer. And JJ and his team are set to release their first feature film, Alamo City Zombie, this summer. JJ, welcome to the show.
Man, thank you so much, Mark, Howie, Desiree. Thank you guys for inviting me here. It's an honor. Definitely, man. That bio seems, man. I think my wife
comprehensive,
wrote that.
right?
Yeah, man. I was like, man, who's that guy?
Yeah, it's a little help with ChatGPT.
I know. I was
some
like,
of my own skills.
I was like, dude, that guy seems pretty.
flexing,
That guy
right?
seems
Popping
pretty.
that collar,
seems pretty cool, man.
Somebody you want to meet, right?
Yeah, you guys want to meet that JJ Fernandez? I'll tell you what. But yeah, thank you again. I'm JJ Fernandez, the CEO of TJF Talent Management. And just like Mark was saying, we're super excited to have our first feature film, in post-production. It's in the editing process right now. It's called Alamo City Zombie. So make sure you guys look out for that. We're on Instagram and Facebook. So we're showcasing our lovely city and our businesses here. And it's gonna be great, guys. It's gonna be funny.
Yeah, we'll have to get into that a little bit.
For sure.
I've got some questions I want answered on these zombie movies, right?
Oh, okay.
All right. I'm your host, Marc Ebinger, the CEO of Kruka's Virtual Staffing, a company that recruits and staffs experienced overseas administrative assistants for insurance agents and attorneys. So if you're curious about the most common tasks that VAs are doing for their businesses, head over to our website at krukas.com and grab a list of the top 20 tasks that VAs are doing for businesses like yours. Link is in the podcast description.
And my name is Howie Nestel. I've been in marketing since before Al Gore invented the internet. So 30 years in marketing, old school stuff. But now that the World Wide Web has been invented and now been around for a couple, 3 decades, we've completed now 1,100 websites. Okay. We do a lot of work for nonprofits, but we also do a lot of work for profit companies because ultimately you want marketing that gives you a return on investment.
Yes.
You want it to be you invest and you get business from it. And so if you're looking to grow your digital influence in San Antonio and beyond, look us up at sharkmatic.com.
All right. Again, a hard act to follow. Howie is the king of San Antonio marketing. And my name is Desiree Serna. I'm glad to be a co-host here on Let's Talk Business San Antonio. I'm glad to have JJ here on the podcast. It's going to be a great conversation. I am the principal success strategist and premier publicist at Philanthropic and Public Relations. We specialize in high-profile event planning, nonprofit expertise, and we represent all industries.
Awesome.
It's quite the crew we got going on this morning.
I'm telling you, man. It's like the who's who, right?
Yep.
You know it.
A quick reminder to follow the Let's Talk Business podcast on all major podcast platforms and social media where you can catch video version of the show anytime. You can get to everything easily from our website at satalkradio.com. Now, the next Let's Talk Business podcast mega mixer is coming up here in San Antonio on Thursday, March 27th from 5:30 to 8:30 p.m. Tickets are on sale now for just $20. Now, it's a huge expo-style mixer with lots of networking. These things work extremely well for business-to-business connections. There's going to be about 20 vendor tables that are going to be there, which vendor tables, expo-style feel to it, really just is, people start talking and mixing and mingling better, and a lot more business and connections gets done. That's what we've learned, and we've kind of doubled down on it this time. Awesome. We got about twice as many vendor tables, and we're expecting about 300 people. There's going to be great snacks, and there's going to be plenty of drinks, and, of course, the net proceeds of the events are going to be going to support multiple charities here in the San Antonio area. You want to pick one and chat about it there, Howie?
Why one? Let's pick all three.
Okay. There you Just go through them quickly.
Quickly. All right. One of them is Discovery Camps, a camp for kids with cancer. Been around for 40 years, discoverycamps.org. Another one is CRIT, the Children's Rehabilitation Institute, Telethon USA, serving kids with disabilities. Been around here in San Antonio for 10 years. and that's critusa.org. And then the last organization that we give money to is the one that it's near and dear to my heart because I started it 28 years ago, called Gotcha Covered, and that's gotchacovered.org. We serve the least fortunate in our community by providing them with clothing, toiletries, and non-perishable food items. And we do a one-day collection drive in December. Last year, we collected almost 70,000 pounds of donations in 6 hours.
And one of the philanthropic nexus we all have is we are affiliated all with CRIT. So we're on the gala committee.
Right.
Howie recruited me. I don't know how.
I don't know
how he
JJ's in.
lured you in, but
Oh, yeah.
I'm glad to be on that committee. Thank you
yeah.
very much for thinking of me.
I would say nonprofit work is like a lazy boy chair. It's very easy to get into, very hard to get out of.
Yes,
Yeah, no,
indeed.
definitely.
It feels so good,
Yeah,
honestly.
definitely a privilege and honor to be part of the gala, be part of CRIT, and thank you, Howie, man, for inviting us.
You meet great people.
I'm telling you, man.
You
I'm
really
telling
do
you.
meet great people.
Well, some of the best people you meet, you meet them through nonprofit philanthropic work because you find people who care, that are compassionate, and so there's one that, I guess, sense of familiarity with them, and two, people who are generally philanthropic and serve others are usually better quality people than people who are all about the business of money, closing deals, and don't have time to do philanthropic work.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, so coming out to the event, like I said, net proceeds are going to go to support those charities. We're expecting to sell out again, so make sure you get your tickets to the Let's Talk Business Mega Mixer by visiting our website at satalkradio.com. Now, on that same note, I want to do a quick shout out to Total Com Management for being a gold sponsor for the upcoming Let's Talk Business Mega Mixer on March 27th. Of course, they're going to have a vendor booth out there as well. Based in San Antonio, Total Com Management specializes in providing comprehensive security solutions for both residential and commercial clients. Their services include security systems, video surveillance, home automation, fire protection, and professional monitoring. With a commitment to exceptional customer service, they ensure tailored solutions to meet each client's unique needs. So if you're looking to enhance the security and automation of your home or business, be sure to check them out at totalcom-inc.com or call them at 210-366-1116. All right, JJ, so tell me a little bit about your background. How did you end up in the film and talent management industry?
Well, I know we're kind of talking a little bit of this off camera, but it all started with my wife, right?
So wait, she got you into this?
Yeah. So I'll tell you what. So I always tell people that I've always been in the entertainment industry, right? I mean, I was in sports all my life. I did some plays. I performed dancing, back in the day, right? 80s dance routine stuff. And and so I always like entertaining. So, and always loved movies. But I guess it was like maybe 2017, I guess. I can remember too. It was like New Year's Day or something. My wife was like, "Hey, won't you try to go, start doing some acting, start doing some stuff, start slow." And I was like, okay, where did that come from, right? It just came out of nowhere. Well, she's like, well, you're just a character, your character.
Yeah.
People love you, you this and that. You're a great host, you're entertaining, all this. And, you're a talented guy. I believe in you. I was like, oh, okay, well, let's do it. I was like, I'll tell you what, if you do the legwork and I get a role or something, then I'll do it and see how it is, right? And then that's kind of started. So she submitted me for a background, just like anybody else, right? You start from the bottom. So then, guess what? I got a call back, and my first one was actually Amazon Prime series. My very first one.
Wow!
I was straight to big production, nothing small. This was huge in Austin, and it's called Panic. They only did one season. It was a great show. You might still see it on Prime. But yeah, I'm all over that series.
How cool!
Yeah,
I think that's incredible.
It's just it blew my mind, right? To see a production of that level,
right?
Coming out.
What was your character though?
Oh, so I was playing man, there was a couple of them. I was a diner patron.
Oh.
I was what is it? Fairgrounds.
So they pay you by the day at that for that kind of project.
They pay you by the day, and so, but you know, like I said, it was just I was in there and I was like a kid in a candy store. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was just like, wow. I was just like, man, this is what I want to do.
Did you
right?
like it right away? Because some people say, "Wow, it's a lot tougher than I thought, and the days are long." And
Yeah. You know what?
there's a lot of waiting around.
You're right
Yeah.
about that, Howie, because that's you know I get a lot of that right from other actors, right, becoming and stuff like that. But for me, man, it was just mind blowing. Like I
Yeah.
didn't care.
Right.
It was like, in a sense, like a drug.
You were
I wanted
fascinated.
more. I needed
Right.
more. I wanted more. So it was like, and it was just like, man, yeah, and it, you know, it changed my life, man. So, but
Do you still feel that way when you get into acting?
oh yeah.
So it sounds like you really found where you're supposed to be.
You know what? And you hit it. You know,
Yeah.
you hit the head on the nail, right? Head on the nail.
Yeah.
You know, it was very.
Yeah.
I'm not good at those things, but anyway, but yeah, that's what it was. It's just like I found my calling finally.
So there's a couple pieces in this that in my 55 years of life I've learned. One is that if you do it for free,
yeah,
and you can make a living at it, that's awesome, right? If you got
Yeah.
natural talent towards it,
yeah.
and then if your spouse
Oh, yeah.
is on board
Yes.
with it, I think that's super, super valuable, whether it's friends
Yeah.
or whether it's business. That's a good indicator of
Yeah.
that you're moving in the right direction. Those are my two anyway.
No, and you're right about that. You know, because you know, my wife, even though that she introduced me to getting into this industry, right, into this passion of acting that I love now. At first, too, it was some adjustment for her as well, because now this is new things coming up, right? Now I am gone for periods of time. I have to leave. Now it's like, well, wait a minute. Well, I don't really know about this, right? Or why can't I answer the phone?
Yeah.
Why can I communicate? So all those little things, like, it's very important to have a supporting spouse in this industry, because it's long, it's grueling. There's a lot of things, a lot of changes, and you have to be okay with that, or
Is
at
she
least
okay
adapt to
with
that.
like your intimacy scenes that you have to do?
Well, actually, I don't.
Did you do it George straight? Nope, won't touch him. No.
Well, no. I mean, I had one scene that I did. Actually, the movie is still not even out yet. This character, he was a bad guy. He was a bad guy. You know, it was very challenging for me. Now, of course, with my wife, we read the script, and I was like, "Hey, what do you think?" Like, first of all, are you okay? Am I okay doing this? And are you okay doing this? Right? And so we read it, and she's like, "Well, look, hey, I mean, I'm okay with it as long as you're okay with it, but you know, this is going to show a different side of you as well, right? Because you know, in acting, you know, you have to show versatility, right? Different things, right? And so I was like, okay, well, all right, let's push the envelope a little bit, right? And I end up doing it, and so I guess when the director and the other people, when it was done, like I was getting like hit on, like they were like, man, I wanted to go in there and stop what was going on, and so I was like, okay, well, I guess I did my job, right?
You were convincing?
I was
Yeah.
convincing to
Right.
make you not like me, and but on the other side, like emotionally and everything, it took me a while to regroup myself.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you have to put yourself in that situation.
Right.
And so, and yeah, it took me a while. I called my wife right after, and I was just speechless. I just kept on going like, yeah. Oh, and she's like, are you okay, babe? And I was like, yeah, I need a little time, right? Let me get a little time. I'll call you right back. And so that's one of the things in acting, man. Like when you know, it's just, you got to put yourself in that spot, in that situation.
Oh, yeah.
What are you going to do? How are you going to react? And even though if you never did like that in your life, you know, you just got to go there. And so those are the,
You got to dedicate
you gotta
to that
dedicate,
role.
You got to dedicate to
Yeah.
that role. You know what I mean? So
You consider
yeah.
yourself a natural, or did you take acting classes to brush up? How are your memorization skills? Those kinds of things.
So
for
yeah,
scripts?
it was rough. Like I definitely took acting classes. Stellar Eller out of LA. So I really went for top of the line. and hone my skills there, and of course, with other the workshops and stuff like that, and mentors and stuff like that. But I think I had the talent there already, but definitely using these tools and getting these classes sharpened that. But it was rough, man. I had a hard time, memorizing lines.
Mm-hmm.
Especially the more you get older and the more you can't see and stuff like that.
You need
So
those
yeah,
reading glasses.
I'm kind of late in this game.
Right.
So, it was difficult. I mean, I've done it where just with my wife holding kind of like Brando with cue cards.
Right.
Yeah.
Notes, finding different methods of trying to learn lines. Research some stuff or what they taught me in class. And I tell you what, it was the funniest thing or the darnest thing, but it was like one day it just clicked. Like, I don't know what happened. I was like, oh, these lines are just all right.
Coming to you. They're
Coming to
flowing.
you. Like, they're just now. And also, too, it's very important who writes the script. Because sometimes if it's a nice flow of dialogue and very natural, then it comes natural. There's some stuff that's kind of very complex and how they write it and how they want it to be interpreted. So that's kind of hard. But yeah, it just, I mean, it's hard to say, but yeah, it just clicked, man. I got, like, things were just coming along. Like, oh man, I can memorize lines, a lot faster now, and it just came all together, Mark. It just.
So JJ, I do want to know, when did you get to the point where you're like, I want to go from acting to, I've learned a couple of things in this road of acting? Because when you are in entertainment, that is myself, I've been in entertainment for a long time, but the philanthropics, philanthropy side, I'm representing entertainers, I'm representing their foundations, I'm representing their events. I am not representing the entertainment part of their careers. So now that I am representing a couple different entertainers, there's a lot of things that I've learned, that, again, those management skills. So when did you, how many years in of acting were you like, man, I learned a lot about the management side of it where I can benefit and start opening a management company?
Yeah, that's a good question, Desiree, too, by the way. After just doing my years in acting and still doing it today, what kind of got me into the talent management stuff was actually other actors. I was that guy. I always been that guy outside of the industry where, people come to me for advice, right? I listen, and just be that shoulder to lean on, or, since forever. So I kind of built that kind of father role in the industry, right, with other actors, even though if they're older than me or not or younger, but they're just like, hey, I would get messages, JJ, man, how do I do this?
Right.
How do I know what my daily pay rate is?
Yes.
How do I, I need a resume. I need all these other things. So I was just like, it kept on constantly coming. So I was like, you know what? I was telling my wife, and my wife saw the same thing. I was like, I think the Lord has given us a clue here. I think this is what we need to do. Like, we need to continue to help people in this industry and learn the business, right, from the ground up, and everything that comes behind it. Because I personally learned the hard way.
Yeah.
I've
You're reactive.
Yeah.
Do you have a headshot? Yes.
Exactly.
But other things. Do you have a website?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Do you have again?
And just
where's your Vitae? Where's your
Yep.
where's
your IMDb
credits?
credits? Yeah.
Right.
Where's
Do you
your
have an IMDb?
which is very important.
Right.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are coming into this entertainment. They don't even know what IMDb is.
Yeah.
That's the social media.
Yeah.
That is like the LinkedIn.
Yeah, that's the LinkedIn. And besides having the LinkedIn, you're right. The IMDb is like, okay, for instance, Howie's been saying that he's been in all, this stuff. All right, let's see the proof of that, right?
Right.
Maybe now, in the industry, there's not a lot of times you're going to get footage or videos because they're not even out because they take a while, right? But the director will give you credit and what you played. So when they pull that up, like, will you mind if you IMDb me, you'll say, okay, oh yeah, JJ's been in this. That's the character he played and where he started. So it's basically like a directory, right? Like, we're just
Your credits.
That's your credits,
So
man.
when a director gives you credit for a film and you have a profile on IMDb.
Yeah, correct.
IMDb, right?
Yes.
Yeah, IMDb.
DB. What does that stand for, by the way?
I knew you'd ask
Internet
that.
movie database, internal movie database, or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So if a director gives you credit, does it automatically pop up on your own profile? Is it like connected that way?
Yeah. So basically, when you get a credit, the director will look. First of all, you got to have IMDb. First of all, even if you don't get the pro or not, right? But they look up your name.
You have
And
to
if
be in the
you got a
database.
profile, your name is already in the database. So then they'll click on your name, make sure you're the right person. They'll add the character that you played, who directed it. What so you get attached to the film.
Yeah. I've seen some where they don't even have a profile picture, and I'm thinking, well, this was like a mainstream deal. It's like, you got to be kidding me, right?
Yeah.
And that's exactly why management companies or publicists or advisors are so important to entertainers.
That's right.
Because, like, for example, IMDb, that's important, right, for actors and actresses. However, Spotify is important that you get your credits there.
Yeah.
You know, so you have to know, again, that management side. And a lot of times what JJ and I have talked about before is like, here these talents, whoever, let's just like aggregate them, like here these talents are trying to shine in whatever their talent is, but they're also trying to manage themselves. You know?
By the way, all of these things also play into search engine optimization.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
Because then
dude,
people search.
that's
Exactly. Yeah,
so
you're right.
IMDb, these are all credited or accredited sites
You're right.
that will come up on Google searches.
Yeah.
So the more you have and the more accurate it is,
Yeah.
and the more it matches what's on your website, the better it is.
You're gonna
For your
search.
optimization.
Yeah,
for the search
and
engine
it's crazy.
optimization.
It's crazy because like how we said, even if you didn't do IMDb, if you would just like type in the Google search JJ Fernandez, and you just start seeing all these pictures, like I was like it's crazy, just like all these events or Getty Images or whatever, just like you pop up, man, and just like, well, how did I get there, right?
How many? Now that you've been in the industry for a while, and you're also on the management side, what would you say? What would the advice be to somebody either getting started or somebody who's having trouble landing roles? Should they be waiting to be discovered and for people to find them, or should they be proactive and get out there and look for jobs and apply for jobs that they would be well suited for?
Yeah, that's a great question, Howie. If you're gonna wait for that, you're gonna wait forever.
Yeah.
Right? This industry is a go-getter industry, right? And you need to go out, hone on your craft, take classes, getting into, any networking mixers.
Yeah.
I tell, my clients and I tell just, people in general, network. I cannot stress it enough. That word should be embedded in your head because, when you network, it opens up other doors, open up their possibilities. But yeah, you just got to continue to get in any role possible. Of course, if it fits your morals, right? You don't want to just get in anything, but still, I've done a lot of free stuff, right? A lot of student films,
Right.
Just background, and there's people that just like doing background. That's fine. A lot of retirees like to do background, and they just want to go have fun and and do all that stuff. But if you want to continue in this industry to try to just make it, you got to continue just to network, work on your skills, submit for roles, and just keep on going. Because sometimes it's easy to be discouraged and stop.
Yeah, I would imagine getting told no when you think you're perfect for the role, but the director just
And not only getting
feeling
told
it.
no. I mean, you hear these stories of Sylvester Stallone and Rocky.
yeah.
He wrote it, and they said, "Dude, you're short, you're ugly, your mouth is." I mean, so you tend to internalize it because in business, nobody tells you they're not going to hire you because they don't like the way you look.
Oh yeah, Oh yeah. Like I'll tell you a quick story, real quick on that. So when I was doing a background, I'm big zombie, right? Big zombie fan. So I wanted to be on Fear of the Walking Dead, which it filmed in Austin. And so I talked to one of the guys like, oh yeah, that's the casting director for Walking Dead. She was talking to everybody. So I talked to her and like, hey, how you doing? Nice to meet you. I was like, oh man, I love the show, this and this and that. Just having a conversation. I was like, hey, so how does one, how can I be on the show? Like, where can I submit or something? And then she looked at me and she's like, baby, I'm sorry, but right now in the zombie apocalypse, you have too much meat on your bones. We need some skinny. So basically, it was like almost like fat shaming. And I was bigger back then. This was like back in like 2017 or something like that. And so that lit something under me. I was upset, right? But I got it. And I'll say again, going back to the industry, guys, you got to have thick skin. You got to have thick skin. If it's not for you.
Well, to be fair, though, that's an accurate assessment because the zombies don't have a whole lot.
No,
of
and you're right, and you're right. But for somebody,
but what about successful zombies? They catch a lot.
Yeah,
they do.
yeah,
Right.
you know what I mean.
They got to get plump, right?
But the thing is that it's like, and I get it, and I understood it, but it hits, right?
Yeah.
It hits because you're like, well, and so I was like, okay. And then,
You weren't
obviously,
like, well,
I work.
fuck you then.
I was like, I was like, for real.
Mark, I'm going to tell you, like, that's on the like acting side, right? On the management side, I can't tell you how many deals that I have just, either one had to be the bearer of bad news.
Yeah.
Two, been on that where I'm like about to wring someone's neck.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that.
Yeah.
You do have to have
Yeah.
thick skin.
Yeah.
And I'm a woman. I've had males try to, get a buck up to me, and I'm like, oh no, I'm a pit bull in heels.
Yeah.
I'm not the one.
I'm not the one to mess with.
But you really, honestly, do have to have thick skin when you're in entertainment. You have to realize it's all business.
It is. It is all a business, though.
A lot of it you can't have personal. You really want to keep it business. When you're transacting, you're transacting.
That's right.
The great thing is like being having like a management type of company again. It's kind of cool because the personal side is working those crowds, getting those
That's right,
clients, and letting them know what you do and how you do it well.
Yeah.
And I really do. I've seen his wife Teresa and JJ go and work the entertainment crowd, and that's a large part of it. And y'all do that very well.
Yeah, you all
Thank
do
you.
that very well. So I had gone to an event downtown with Samantha, who organizes the Let's Talk Business podcast Mega Mixers. She had invited me to an event, and I didn't know JJ and Teresa. And so, I got my drink and my appetizers, and there was a table with an empty chair, and they were sitting there. And so I sat down. I don't know if you all know this about me, but I'm also somewhat talkative and friendly.
No, what?
So we started chatting, and within 5 minutes, we were long lost brothers,
Right.
family
Yes.
members,
I
friends.
love it. I
We
love
started
them. They're so awesome.
connecting on a bunch of different levels, nonprofit, acting. I said, my daughter wants to be an actress. Oh my God, we're doing a movie. So all of a sudden, there's that instant connection. But you have to be a people person.
Yes.
Yes.
In a lot of businesses.
Yes.
For sure in entertainment.
Yes.
For sure in marketing. For sure in nonprofit. And, I don't know, in podcasting, I guess, and virtual, virtual staffing, I guess you don't have to be a people person. But
No, actually, that's how I built my whole business. Has been networking. It's all person to person, relationships. No pay per click.
Right.
And I think most people, whether they're in business or not, might say or describe themselves as either an introvert or I'm not really a people person. I like people okay, but in small doses.
Yeah.
But I don't want to, be out every night or talking to people. When I go to a party or an event, I kind of just hang out by myself for a little bit, see what's going on. But then they leave, and then they say, yeah, that was worthless. Like, I didn't meet anybody. I'm like, whose fault
Go
was
out
that?
there.
Yeah.
Go
Whose
out
fault was
there.
that?
Yeah,
Exactly.
And there's one of those things too, like you said, Howie, and on networking and going out there, it's like there's been plenty of times where me and my wife, or maybe more Terry, because I like to be out, but she's like, oh man, again, like another event, like we gotta go, and it's like, yeah, and it's like, and then it's like we go. And something so great comes out of it. Mm-hmm. Those are the things, like, okay, and it's like we talk about, it's like, man, imagine if we didn't go. Imagine if we didn't go, we wouldn't have met Howie.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Or met Mark, or
Tell us some of
Desiree.
the fabulous places, because I see you on a lot of different awards, red carpets. I see y'all. I don't know exactly. I forgot who the other people that he has a good crowd. He rolls with a good crew where I see them on a lot of different red carpets throughout Texas.
Yeah,
In
yeah.
fact. So tell us about some of
Yeah,
those.
so most of that crew that you guys see me with, which is another so King of the South series. I'm a producer and actor as well on there, executive producer. And that series, man, it's that group of guys, which is Carmona, and the rest of his guys, right, and that are involved in the series, and other actresses and actors that are kind of part of that group. And man, it's a good group of people. We got together with the King of the South series, and man, it's a wonderful, wonderful story. A little different. It might sound like it's cartel, but it's not. It's more about two brothers, came up from different lifestyles, but they're both, searching for power, right? So in that series, I run for governor. Carmona plays my other brother, and he's kind of like the guy of the streets, right? Which kind of both in that world. I think in real life, the streets and corporate kind of have, right. They just work in different levels, right? But no, like I said, that's the group of people that we kind of get together in these events, and we definitely love red carpets and getting dressed up and going out. But we get invited to a lot of these events, which we're definitely honored, and it's a privilege to show up. But but that's the other side that as far as just not in movies, but as far as in the music industry, right?
Well, this leads me to an interesting kind of a comment, and it may be a point to be made on your talent management side. Is that when somebody comes to you for talent management, then they're also getting access to your network.
That's right.
And that's a big deal. You can shortcut a lot of stuff by getting good advice, of course, support, coaching, but then also the network.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you again, you're right there, Mark, because that's one of the things that it's kind of our pitch on that. It's not, you get in TJF Talent Management, but we come with that network.
Well, Howie has a word for it. Influence peddling, right?
Is that's called?
Dude, not peddling. You're close. You're 50%. Influence marketing.
Influence marketing. There you go. See? That's right.
By the way, that's
marketing.
a differentiator for us. And it's not that I was trying to come up with something different, but that's what I do. It's influence peddling. So I have a network of, say, 12, 15,000 people I know on a first-name basis.
Right.
I have a lot of local clients. So why wouldn't a commercial landscaper want to hire Sharkmatic to do the marketing?
Exactly.
When I can connect them to some of my other big clients, Washtub, Frio Regional Hospital, Methodist. So
no, you're right.
it doesn't mean that they're going to get that job, but I can put them in front of it.
Yeah.
Right.
But I have a lot of people call me, and JJ, you might, and I for sure Desiree has this problem. Desiree, can you introduce us to? Can you? But they won't hire you. They just want
they want
to leverage
oh
their
yeah
contacts.
Oh yeah, all the time.
All the time.
Yeah, and that's one of those things in the industry, man. That and I'm Howie and
how do you deal with that then?
Retainer.
Yep, retainer. I love it.
No, but seriously, if somebody comes to you and they're like, let's say you got on the subject of somebody that they want to meet that however you got on that subject, and they're like, I'd love an introduction. How would you handle that?
Sometimes it depends on the scope. For me, it depends on the scope. I call myself then like a project manager or consultant, or I create kind of a role then to facilitate that.
Yeah.
Again, our expertise is everything. Our network is everything.
Yeah.
We've worked a long time to have that credibility, to have that network behind us that we can confidently suggest or connect
I'll tell you a short funny story. I'm in Vegas this past weekend. I get a call from a friend of mine who has a business. He has 2 restaurants. He's not a client, but he's a friend. And he does his own marketing. Not as good as Sharkmatic could have done it, but he does his own marketing. And he says, hey, man, he texts me. He goes, how well are you connected to the mayor? I've seen you with him and all this stuff. I said, I know him well. I have his cell phone. We talk. So he calls me up. He goes, hey, I have some friends. We're doing a food truck, and I have a food truck. And we rented a little food truck, like a parking lot, but the parade route was changed for one of the Fiesta parades. Is there any way you can call the mayor?
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, this is one step above, hey, I got a ticket. You think you can call the mayor to get me out of it? I go, I don't use the mayor, my connection with the mayor, for things that benefit me. Why would I use them for you? And I try to, sugarcoat it, say in a nice way. But, but people.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Diplomacy.
And so what I said was, look, we're actually, my company's doing the Texas Cavaliers River Parade Guide Program book and the festival and the and the Fiesta, not Flambeau, but the other parade, the Battle of
Battle of
Flowers.
Flowers.
Battle of Flowers program book. We already have all the information, including the route.
Yeah.
It's not changing.
Highly unlikely that route's going to change. He goes, yeah, because now it's not going to go by where we're going to have our food booths.
Hold on.
Yeah, but no, definitely, yeah, we get a lot of that, and you can say you try to just put it as nicely as possible, but also, you know, it's you have to be selective, right?
Yes.
You have to be selective. I mean, do I want to introduce this person, you know, to Howie or to Desiree? Like, if I'm not feeling right about
Well, then
it,
it's your reputation.
Yes.
and it's your reputation,
Because
though.
then all of a
Exactly.
sudden I'm like, man, now every time JJ calls me, it's like, oh my God, I remember that last person he introduced me to.
Yeah. You know, and that's what you don't want, man, because it is your name and your reputation behind it. So,
Well, let's talk about money a little bit here. So obviously you get paid to do this, right?
yep.
So tell me, how does that work? How does the pay structure generally work? Or is it unique for every single client?
Yeah, it's different for whatever project to get paid. You know, for me, commercials, they're great. They pay very, very good money. Sometimes I've done a commercial and it's check right there at the end, which is nice, but it's rare. You know, they're a net 30, net 60 kind of thing. So you're going to do a job, you know, you're going to do a gig and you might not get paid till 30, 60 days later.
That's a whole follow-up operation, too.
It
I would
is,
imagine.
man.
Because what
It-
if they just forget to pay you or something?
Yeah,
what I
you
mean?
know, that's one of the things too
business
that.
side.
But yeah, you know, but that's a sign of a bad production company too.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, there are different things. There's some people that pay, you know, like I said, on the spot, or they pay you right after the production is done.
How about your client? So a client comes to you, their client for your management firm. So do you work off percentage? Like
Yeah,
you
it's a
know,
percentage.
So
yeah.
you do percentage.
Yeah, we do percentage. It's
Okay.
almost like a talent agent. You know, where it's just
Right.
10, 15 or whatever. You know, it's the same thing. But of course, like with us, with our pool of clients that we have, and you know, they're family. The word client is just like, I'm a family guy, family oriented. So, you know, if they don't have an agent, for us, that's the goal. We want to work and, you know, beef up your resume and your, you know, get your credits and all that to get you a talent management, right? Because you want to build a team, right? You're your own product, right? You want to have a team behind you. And it sounds good, too, when you talk to somebody like, hey, you know what? For instance, oh, Desiree, man, we want to hire you for, you know, for this job. We want you to act on it. And, you know, I was like, okay, well, send me the contract. Let me get with my team, and my team will contact you. They're going to be like, oh, well, she's for real.
Yeah.
She has a team behind her.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's very important. And so, and a lot of times, you know, up and coming people in the industry, I mean, obviously they're not going to have that right now, right then and there. But the goal is to lead up to that. But us, you know, for TJF Talent, we wear different hats, like kind of what you're saying.
yeah.
We're wearing different hats right now. So we're helping, you know, our clients get an agent, which one thing too that I help them with because of my agency. And it's one of the biggest agencies in Texas, which is Pastorini Bosby. And so they already have that foot in the door. So when they're ready, reach out to my agents like, hey, I have somebody that I think that you should look into.
Right.
You know, to pull, you know, in your pool of
They're
talent.
already polished.
They're
and
already
positioned.
polished. They're ready to go. You know, and then here we go, right? But the other clients, you know, just getting them out there, get that name out there, work on their social media, you know, all that stuff. So we're trying to build a brand.
Do y'all get them to be, once they start getting larger, do you get them to be like LLCs or?
Yeah,
any other-
definitely. That's what we want to, you know, that's.
A lot of people don't realize
They don't
that.
realize you got a LLC.
You
or
got an
something.
LLC. If you're entertainment,
Yep.
it's your name and
Yep.
you're an LLC.
That's it. Yep.
Yeah.
Pretty much for anything in business,
Yeah.
you should have a corporation.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
a corporation has an EIN number,
Yeah.
so it's recognized as an independent entity.
Yep.
Because if not, you could be sued personally.
Personally.
So-
yeah. Again, the business side of entertainment.
That's right.
I could go on and on.
Yeah.
I mean, we could honestly
Yeah.
go on and
Yeah.
on the management, the business, the relations,
Well, I think that's
the
some of
negotiation.
some of the things that people are going to want to delve into a little bit is understanding it. But so kind of finishing up on the money side
Yeah.
of it is, so do you also take a retainer? So if you get somebody that's fairly new to the industry, are you looking to collect a retainer, or is it just on commission based on what it is they do?
No, like really, like anybody that's been with us, we just stay with that percentage. We're not really, it's more like kind of a commission-based kind of deal.
And is that because they don't generally have the money to put up?
Yeah, well, a lot of times it's just, they're still new, But the thing is that, like, going back to when I started and learning the hard way, nobody told me these things, And so once I, with mentors and, asking different, seasoned actors, out of L.A., in New York, people that I connected with, and like, hey, what does this mean? I had to go out there, and so, that got me to realize where, okay, a lot of people don't know this.
Well, there's huge value in
and it's just like, it's complicated, and it's hard, and
which
and
again
people
highlights the value.
Yeah.
So if somebody is not going to put down a retainer, how are you safeguarding your work? Are you doing a contract up front?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's definitely contracts. Contracts.
And
that's
give me an idea of what a contract you might be asking for to help make
like
sure
10%,
that your time
20% if it's
Yeah. No. Usually, it's with us, it's 15%. It's 15%.
and like to me sometimes if I have someone who can't pay me retainer, and this happened, I know it's kind of comparing apples and oranges, but like grant writing.
Yeah.
You don't know how many, I'm sure Howie's heard this. Grant write, they always say, I don't have the money to do it. But I want you to grant write. In that case, I tell them, fine, if you want to do percentage, guess what? My percentage goes way up then. If you're not going to pay me a retainer, but then I tell my other clients, for those of you that can afford a retainer, do this retainer and I can get, then you're talking a different ballgame. It's constant. You might get more grants submitted then. But you really have to, it is a client by client. Like who can do a retainer? To me, I do a lot like, okay, if I'm doing PR work, that's one retainer. But if you're asking me to do other things like manage that and start giving you strategy, that's a different lane. That's a different
I would
retainer.
be curious too about setting expectations on their performance.
Deliverables. all that.
For sure.
well.
I mean, all that's it's stipulated in the contract, but as well too, like some of the things that we provide as well is like headshots, classes, right? And so these now, if you're on our pool and if you're not, okay, you guys are mandatory to take these classes, right? And yes, you'll get a discount, but you're still going to pay, right? And I mean, it's what it is. You're going to get headshots. We can give you a discount rate. So everything's at a discount rate where they can go ahead and come in. But that's stuff that they need regardless, because they're still working on
And the firm
grant.
charges that and pays for good.
Yeah.
So that's how they're monetizing. That's other ways that they're making money. Hey, headshots.
Headshots.
$250 if you're doing, if you need a what is it again? Social optimization, charge so much.
Resumes,
Brilliant.
updated, resumes, too. So it's, all that is.
It's like any other business.
Yes.
You have to invest in it.
Yeah. You do.
And if you, like you said, you're your own business.
Yeah.
Right.
Your personality, whatever. So you have to invest in yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have situations where you got somebody that's pretty good, they're talented, and then you're finding jobs that you say, okay, hey, this is a good opportunity for you, and then you're connecting them to those, even if they haven't paid you any money yet.
Well, the thing is that so
you're finding work for your folks.
So we find work for them, but so in the film industry, when the majority of the productions, right? I mean, if it's indie film, it might be a little bit more trickier, but on bigger productions, you have to put who your management is or your agent, right? They're going to ask you, and you have to write that down. And of course, obviously, I mean, we have hands on. We have hands on everything, but it's not like that. It's like I said, I think we all have a good rapport. So I'm not having any issues, right? Like everybody's like, they see how we treat them as that family kind of environment. So there's a lot of family kind of dialogue. Okay, hey, you know what? But we got our hands in it, right? Like we're going to make sure that you're being taken care of, but we're going to make sure too that, hey, we're taken care of too, right? So it works hand in hand. But yeah, there's times out there where, I mean, just say in other instances that I know that, you know, they won't put down their agent or their management. Say they found it on their own, right? Now, if they found it on their own, then that's where it kind of get a little tricky, right? But there's ways to find out, right?
Well, they're still going to need help with the contract.
Well, and that's the thing, though. And my wife, having a two-lane law degree, that's one of the things that we offer, right? She reads all the contracts, or she can write a contract. So it's in their best interest for us to read that, because what's going to happen? They're going to come back to me like, "Oh, JJ Terry, man, they said they're going to give me this, and look, you didn't come to us,
right?"
Right. And the thing is that, even with us, I mean, we will help anybody, right? We'll help anybody that needs help. But our management talent pool right now is we're concentrating on that handful of people that we have. We want to make sure to elevate them and put all our effort and and that's not to say like, we're not accepting anybody, right now, maybe at that time we're not, but we'll still have your information and we'll still help if you need help. I'm always going to be that guy that kind of points you to the right direction, right? That's just me by nature. But yeah, just that's kind of what we let our clients know, that hey, we're here to help.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, that's what it is. Bottom line, we want you to succeed. Yeah,
help the smart ones. You can't help everybody, but
no,
at least help the smart ones.
Yeah.
Right? So let's get in as we get close to the end here. Let's talk a little bit about Alamo City Zombies. So, all right, so there's plenty of zombie movies out there.
Yeah.
Tell me this isn't just another zombie movie.
No, man, it's actually a comedy. It's more of a comedy. We took a lot of bits of. So me and my wife are big horror fans, right? And and the horror fan community is very big. I mean, there's especially in San Antonio too. But my wife wrote this script as a short to submit, right? Oh. That's how it started at first. It was a short, and then getting with Michael, with Ocho, and his wife and all that, and everything that his network that he brings, right? And so we're kind of talking about it, and he was like, "Hey, this needs to be a feature film." And we had not even thought for 1 minute at this time doing a feature film, right? And so he's like, "No, man, let's do it. We'll work out the numbers, work out the contracts, we'll do all this stuff." And we did, man. And here we are. We made a movie.
How long is it?
It's going to be a little bit over an hour.
Very cool. Perfect time.
Perfect time. Yeah, we didn't want to go overboard. But yeah, so it's not like there's going to be some intense moments, but it's going to be hilarious. It's just a lot of comedy in it. It's so funny. I'm directing, and my first time directing, and so which I love doing, by the way.
Well, what kind of comedy is it? Because there's different types, right?
Yeah, it's very kind of like slapstick. Yeah, but some of it's kind of dark too, a little dark. So it's kind of like a mixture of everything. But you're gonna just see San Antonio and the hoods, and just kind of how San Antonio gonna handle a zombie apocalypse? Yeah. How can you imagine that? And what are some of the things that are going to be involved in that? You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like when Nesta Raza here, right? And this culture is like,
that's funny.
You know what I mean? Like, I think some people will be like, is that just a homeless guy walking, or is he a zombie? Or you know what I mean? Like it just.
So are the zombies slow moving? Like in
yeah,
Walking Dead?
yeah. They're pretty slow. I mean, there's some that are. Might be a little bit faster, but it's just kind of just started, right? This is not deep into it where
origin story.
That origin story almost like, and then like how it starts and all that. And I won't get into more details. I want to leave it to a surprise.
What about, are you guys going to do, obviously promotional, but materials. But what about like a comic book to go with the
Yeah,
movie?
that's a great question. So my wife actually said, like, hey, she really wants to work on doing a comic book. So that's one of the things that we're trying to get together. So anybody listens to this, any comic illustrators, please hit us up at TJF
Yeah, run
Talent.
it on a series or something.
Yeah,
hand
man.
the first one out at the movie that kind of picks up where the
Super
movie
cool.
left off.
Yes. And the thing is that, and the thing with Ocho too, man, is that he got the connections as far as like on marketing, like merch, like even dolls, like to do dolls for certain of the characters, and posters and all kinds of
followers
stuff.
love that.
Yeah,
They love merch.
man. And the thing is, as like, obviously I see this doing well, but it's kind of like I feel it that it can really be like a cult classic down the line.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like be that Shaun of the Dead kind of movie where
Love
like
it.
so funny, like, oh my God, like you can still watch it, all the time and kind of, and then what better way to do it, here in San Antonio, right? And show San Antonio in its fullest, right? So
Super cool.
When does it due out?
we're hoping sometime in either late April, May.
Of 2025.
2025, man.
Love it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's going to be, we're going to wrap this thing up. That was a fast hour. As we,
Time
so
flies when
JJ,
you're having
folks
fun.
want to reach out to you. How do they do that?
So please reach out to us in the TJF Talent. It's info at TJFtalent.com. You can email us. Social media, Instagram, Facebook. We're also on TJF Talent. You follow Alamo City Zombie. Follow King of the South series. You can follow me on Instagram at JJ Fernandez _actor. You guys can reach me, message me. You can call me. I don't care. My number's 281-903-0623. So, please reach out.
Thanks, man. All right, as we wrap up the show, quick reminder, check out our latest podcast and catch video version of the show anytime by visiting our website at satalkradio.com. That's going to be it for this one. You guys have a great week, and we'll see you on the next one.
Thank you.